All right, okay, and all right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, family, what's going on out there? Team humanity, right? What's going on out there today, family? Y'all welcome in us, the 1,000+ strong. Lord, help me speak what I got to say today, man. Help me to say what's got to be said today. Y'all welcome in us, right? The 1,000+ strong who believe in, who love, who search after, who seek for, hunger and thirst for that which is a different view. Family, welcome in today. January 20th. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're going to be very pointed today, ladies and gentlemen. This episode, I would say, is for will parts of it will be for the babies because they need to know their history, right? Part of this is not going to be for the babies, right? As some of these things they will find out in time, right? But we got to have the conversation today, ladies and gentlemen, of course, on Dr. Martin Luther King Day. How ironic that Inauguration Day falls on the same day. I have to preface a lot what I'm saying with a couple of thoughts to keep in mind, just so I'm not repeating myself a ton of times. One, if we leave comments on this episode, or if you guys got to shout me out on the various platforms I'm on, right? We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, right? I believe we're also on Google Podcasts. If not, I know we are on YouTube Studio or YouTube. You can search me at A Different View 80, right? 1980, good year, right? Another president doing a whole lot of mess back then, but still a good year, right? Of course it was, because I came on the planet, right? And many others like me that were born that year. Joining Team 1980, right? In Team Humanity, right? Yes and amen. Family, a lot of hoaxism and technology going on. You got to realize that. You got to realize that. Holiness dressed in some of the most outrageous clothes that seem very pleasing to the eyes of humans. You've got a lot of pot calling the kettle black, especially today, man. On Martin Luther King Day, Dr. Martin, Reverend. Let's see, unfortunately, we got folks like Pastor John, I believe his name is, hold on, let me not missay the man's name. Preacher who said, we're not going to hold punches today, ladies and gentlemen. These are things you can look right up online, right? Of course, as we've said on this podcast, folks know what they want to know if they're going to look to know, right? And that's what we don't have is people who want to know. The way life is going to go down here going forward, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to find out. The Bible talks about seek and find while there is still time to be found, right? This is just a thing. We're not putting any fear here. We're talking about the real. Now, the realism of it will probably make you somewhat scared. And for that, we cope with fear in many different ways. Again, the idea is not for that which you are leery of and afraid to stop you from moving, although that does happen in life. That thing is to push you toward doing something. Like we said on the outset of this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, the very least I can do, my reasonable service, to use my voice and speak out against wrong, man. I have seen what I know has been shown to me in the scripture. No, your boy ain't tripping. Big Uncle KJ ain't tripping over here, man. There is something that echoes through the eons of time we are missing. When you got preachers like Dr. John MacArthur. Now, I'm sure back in the 50s, right? In the 60s, when our brother Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s ministry was going on and his life was going on, that was snatched too early because people hate. But it's ironic. Gandhi was killed. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Fred Hampton were killed, assassinated. Marcus Garvey was killed. Revolutionist Nat Turner was killed. Shout out to our Haitian Jamaican brothers and sisters in revolutions who were killed over in East Asia, the East Indies, excuse me. Our brothers and sisters standing against England who were killed. Everything is a clapback, ladies and gentlemen. That thing has something that I didn't go nowhere. Sorry for the pause there. But this thing is getting me right now. No, Pastor John MacArthur wants to say that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is not Christian because he stands for the things that Christ stood for, that Christians have a problem standing for. Isn't that interesting? Again, we don't pass judgment here. All have fallen and all have sinned, mean all have sinned. None not righteous means no not one. Means no not one. I'm one of them ones. But we're not going to sit here and not say a thing, y'all, under the guise of holiness. We talking beautiful looking sepulchres full of dead people bones. I'm done on that, right? I'm done. This is where we take a stand, y'all. The move bombing in the 80s, killing off brothers and sisters that wanted to live in peace. But this man can stand up in the highest of the court of this made up government and talk about how Martin Luther King Day is going to be for. Hold on, let's play it for a second for y'all.
To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
To make his dream come true? Do you really think Massa, my God, man, do you really think Massa gave two damns, two wiggly pink butt piggly pigs tails asses about the Negro, whether field or in the house? Do you? I know people reject this in their mind because they don't want to believe this about their government. But it's those who enslaved, forced black women to, and then you turn around years later. This is the fire part. This is it, y'all. I'm sorry, right? You turn around and made that black woman birth you a workforce because you lazy. Talking about the Negro who is lazy. How lazy is that? What, my granddaddy, this, and that's what you, this is who people point back to in their families? That's laziness. You didn't get out there and get it. You got it off the back of somebody else. You're going to have to square away with that in your own heart, mind, and spirit. Again, if my people, this mess is inside the church as well as my people, like the human race. Again, we understand as people who do not believe in God and all that kind of thing. We understand that. Okay. We're just talking to those right at the moment who do. What are we doing, y'all? If you're called, man, it's time to turn and repent from this mess. This man talking about drilling into the earth. The same oil that they burned down Greenwood, Tulsa for, y'all. because they didn't want the black folks that built their land around it, the native people who were living in and around that area, no different while we talking about Mexico. And what the Bravo in Texas represented as the natural border between no, but we want to walk over that. So we don't want to know nothing about that. People, listen to me good, family, young and old, and all in between. Some folks just like staying stuck with massa. They like staying on that plantation. And they look at you like you're nuts because you want to leave. That's it. That's it. That's all you seeing, y'all. Don't nobody want to live out there with the field? Nobody want to live out there with the field, Negro. I'm in this house with Massa, man. We'll do whatever we got to take to get this bag because it's close to Massa. So we're going to let go things of decency and in order, like allowing people, whether they believe they're a boy or girl, to live in peace. We just got to keep going after, man. We got to keep doing it. And all it produces is the other side defending themselves, and then the round robin of division, discord, and even death, man. Because guess who getting beat up and attacked in the streets? It's not the heterosexual. It's the homosexual. Getting his or her or their royal ass beat in the street just for being themselves. Is that crazy? Don't let that stuff happen. Don't let a black man do it to a white woman now. And this is not talking about abuse here. We're talking about this kind of thing where a lie was put on the black person every time they wanted to be around someone who was a white woman, who was clearly in the possession of massa as well, because you couldn't be yourself around your white husband. You had to be a cute little doll. Same thing with the kids too, i.e. that movie, what's that movie? Sound of Music. These kids sitting here singing. Can't be themselves. I believe it's The Sound of Music. We gotta let a lot of this mess go, y'all. It's not producing anything. It is the leaven of the Pharisee and of Herod, as we read last time, man. This is what it is. No, in opposite of what this man talking about in Our Glory, talking about fighting for the right to work in the 60s, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is 1961, just a couple years later, talking about time, just a couple years later before they ended this beautiful saint, this man's life, right? In our glorious fight for civil rights, we must guard against being fooled by false slogans, such as right to work. It is law to rob us of our civil rights and job rights. Y'all can, again, people like staying stuck to massa. This is the same problem people had back in the 60s with Malcolm X. The same thing. The same thing. One side too militant, the other side they want to make them look like lambs for slaughter. We are not. Knowing this, right? It is supported by Southern segregationists who are trying to keep us from achieving our civil rights and our right of equal job opportunity. We ain't seen it yet. Again, ladies and gentlemen, to our black brothers and sisters in the family, stop looking to Master to give you. It's time we go out and get our own distribution. Then Snoop Dogg and whoever else ain't got to sue Walmart for not putting their cereal on the table because you got your own Walmart, right? You got your own supermarket. And we keep making fun of the Nation of Islam for as much as we want to. Guess who are the people who had their own stuff? Y'all, we're talking historically documented stuff. The church ain't worried about providing for their people. I know we keep making the excuses for it. Sitting on a whole ton of money. The Catholic Church sitting on a whole ton of money, right? These mega churches out here sitting on a whole ton of money. No. And right about the time now is where you write off Christians who talk like this, because this isn't the first time you heard it. Again, ain't nothing new under the sun. We got to stop, y'all. It's time to walk in peace. This battling back and forth only leads to more death. It's living by the sword. right? Again, as you've heard me say many times on this podcast, yeah, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is right. This thing is a South thing. This thing is a Southern thing. Again, the South had a good idea. You did it the wrong way. Because again, you can come away from this nation's mess. Of course you can. Greatest nation? America is. The United States, not so much. Again, like what we keep like ducking and dodging is this whole thing that has been built upon those who stole land. You're just not connecting the two. Then people get mad at why the native has got to have casinos everywhere making money for themselves. Why wouldn't our native brothers? Never mind. See again, people. Talking about black people helping this man get in office. Our Latin brothers and sisters helping this man get in office. It's a thing that is said, again, from the nation of Islam, right? From Elijah Muhammad, we're just saying what it is. You love Massa because they give you nothing. You love this man because they give you nothing. Everybody likes somebody that gives them that pie in the sky kind of thing. Come on. That is not what Christ came to do. It's not what Jesus came to do. For y'all freaking out about me, again, our Muslim brothers and sisters, when you're talking to Abrahamic faiths, are literally your brother and sister in the faith. You'll have to square away with that with you. You have to square away with that, man. We got to stop attacking each other. That's not boys and girls. This is what we're worried about, boys and girls. This man not giving no money. It won't matter whether you a boy or a girl. Or in between, it won't matter because you will only exist for Massa. This is how we talk, again, we're looking at a historical thing here. When you introduce, what we're trying to do is prevent. When you introduce classism into a thing, yo, hey, what do you think is coming? So again, they talk about emotionalism. People operating off the emotion, that which is fear. You're scared to lose. You're scared to share. Is you thinking the other side going to do what you're doing? This is why I'm saying, one classmate I used to go to school with back in the day, put it up online. Hey, conservatives, since we're using these terms, they're futile terms. They're pseudo words, but we'll go with it. You want to show your goodness to our liberal brothers and sisters? By the nature of the way they think, because they're not thinking in lines of some level of unity just from two sides of the same coin. One's got to dominate the other. The only way you're going to be able to be good to somebody who's of opposite thought of you is for you to understand that someone has an opposite thought of you, which then wouldn't make you technically conservative anymore. You would just have certain notions and things that you believe in should be conserved, but not the label they put on you. This is why the non-binary thing is as popular as it is, because, and I don't want to say popular, but a real thing, is because man and woman define themselves by their gender. And you're missing part of it. You are a human being, not a gender being, a human being. This is why there's crossovers between the way men and women look. This is why women can do the jobs that men do. But see, you want to take this away. You don't want to come together. You have got to see the other partner as you. Male, that woman is the female version of you. But if you're going to keep doing this boy-girl distance thing, you'll never see that. And you're going to miss something in your relationship. Girl, that man is the masculine version of you. My God, help somebody today, man. And because we ignore that, you will miss certain knowledge there to help you see that man deeper, to help to see that woman deeper, to help to see your children. Every adult, quote unquote, started as a child. And we miss the heart of the matter, chasing massa, as to how to deal with these beautiful creations. No, instead we would, as preachers, rather parade them up like hanging pirates back in the day trying to fight for their freedom. in front of congregations in God's holy house. And y'all about, we waiting on the Shekinah glory. How is that supposed to work with that level of faith? I'm asking a question, man. How is that supposed to work? Its purpose is to destroy labor unions and the freedom of collective bargaining by which unions have improved wages and working conditions of everyone. See, at some point, you can hide behind that pulpit for as long as you want to. My Christian brothers and sisters, please understand the heart of where I'm coming from. You can hide behind that pulpit and all this as much as you want to. There is a point, just like with Jesus with Peter, you got to walk on that water. And the water in this case is standing up for your brother and sister who has been hurt. The reason an AME denomination exists is because our so-called white brothers and sisters would not worship with our black brothers and sisters, and you want to walk past that info every day? My people perish because they reject knowledge, not just because of the lack of it. Wherever these laws have been passed, wages are lower, job opportunities are fewer, and there are no civil rights. We do not intend to let them do this to us. We demand this fraud be stopped. Our weapon is our vote. And what we've been voting on, ladies and gentlemen, this blessed brother spoke this back in 1961. What we are doing instead, this thing goes to all cultures, by the way. Again, understanding the slave class, of course, those with the tone, with the skin tone, y'all at the top. Our dark skinned brothers and sisters, right? So-called black brothers and sisters, right? Our Indian, so-called Indian or native brother and sister, our Latin brothers and sisters, the tan or the brown seed, right? The Asian is in there, the Pakistani is in there. All of them people groups, sand monkeys as they call them, our Arabian brothers, Middle Eastern brothers, y'all in that. This is this class now. Believe this. Just like we tell you racism is a competition between the races, between the cultures, believe this about this classism over here. Mixed in that after you get past these people with the melanin level in their skin. The next one is the poor white class. The ones they discard. Your Sicilian brothers and sisters. Come on now. Anybody that they call a Negro lover. Excuse me, I know that's said a different way, but Negro lover, right? They're in there too. Women are in that class, y'all. You were there only as a... See, again, because they believe that hitting up a woman to pay them for sex is sin. So because of that, they got to make that thing look as holy as possible. Guess who become the quote unquote, as they labeled them? Guess who becomes the hoe now? You do. So then now your husband married you, and now believing this false mess that you're supposed to give him sex right on the spot because you married him. Now, of course, those who are broken away, who would be considered pagan, are some of the men who do not believe that. But the base way of thinking, the way where this come from, that people will defend it like, oh, well, see, they came from it, KJ, so what are you talking about? Those people who think like that have passed that down over time, the same way you pass a way of being good to people down over time. This is the kind of stuff that you see in the movie Lion King and all these other kinds of things, y'all. Again, by the time it hits the movie theater, it's happened enough in life that somebody can make a movie about it. Somebody can write a song about it. We're missing it, y'all. And we missed it. People were talking out about it, but these are the folks that get killed. These are the folks who were put in gladiator arenas. You know, while Christians constantly keep talking about that, when you put your neck on the line, like this Christian right here, this is what you get, by the way. This is all you get. We're not looking for glory down, right? We're just talking to our Christian brothers and sisters here for a minute. You're not looking for glory down here, right? It's supposed to be in heaven. So what's a more glorious thing than standing up for those who have been disbanded, disproportioned, beaten and battered in this life, y'all? What's the story of the Good Samaritan for if not that? No, it's talking about something else, KJ. The story of Jesus defending the woman caught in adultery. Now, I know y'all like to look at the sin part, but we're talking about Jesus defended this woman. Each time that Jesus, all the recorded options, I wouldn't be shocked if they start taking that out of the Bible. You already created a slave Bible. Just double down on your errors at this point, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to be a refuge for each other. That's what this is coming to. If you don't, someone will. You know, I mean, again, you know, speaking of which, right? Let's look at Ecclesiastes 1, King James Version. Powerful thought here. Powerful thought here. The words of the preacher. Like maybe this Virginia preacher shouldn't have been messing around with that. Maybe just have a class, right? Message, however you want to call it. Talk to the people about sexual responsibility. Instead of parading that girl up there like she's part of the firing squad or something. You're going to double down by something that you learned from your ancestors where they didn't give baby showers when somebody came up in wedlock because they looked at it as wrong. Yet you forgot about that child, man. No redeeming factors, nothing, y'all. Just death and destruction. But that's not how Christ operates with us, though, right? See, somewhere the 2 and 2 ain't clicking together, man. Ecclesiastes 1:1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Man, how powerful. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? A similar kind of thought process is brought out later on in the Bible, where it talks about this idea of what does it profit a person to gain the world and lose their soul. One generation passes away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also rises and goes down and hastens to his place where he arose. So goes up, comes back down. Goes up, comes back down. One generation of folks is dying. I pray this one that's going that is as it goes away, man. Can we leave behind something else than the atomic bomb and a whole lot and the war on drugs, right? The minimalized function of a woman in the home, the discrediting of the various dark skin and tan skin tone people on this planet. This is the stuff you pass down to your grandkids. I'm just saying, this is what you pass down to them. This is how they're supposed to operate with people. Nope. People walking around with no clothes on, and y'all bugging over people who don't have on clothes. No. Come on, KJ. That's like forever ago, man. No. Nothing changed with the nudity between you and your grandparents, except time. You're just saying what it is, y'all. Again, you want to do things in decency and in order we understand, but people tripping out a little bit too much about something that's very natural. I understand you don't want to see it in front of your kids, which is most of what this thing here with this boy-girl legislation. Can't legislate for the Negro to have some stuff for themselves, but they can legislate the hell out of transgender people, right? Oh man, Lord help us, man. You got a new witch hunt out here, man. You got a new witch hunt out here, y'all. We gotta let it go. We gotta let it go, man. Ain't nobody doing no harm to nobody. You go and live your life. All you gotta do, right? We talked about this last year during Valentine's Day. This minister here. It's amazing what power. You talk about power hidden in earthen vessels, man. Because some of this stuff, Lord, some of these people, You see all this great feats of stuff, like the way Christians hang their hat on Martin Luther. Now, we're not talking about the preacher from the 50s and 60s, Martin Luther. We're not talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're talking Martin Luther, who had a clear problem with Jews, but nobody wanted to know. No, you don't hear about that part. It's just the 95 Thesis, right? Of course it would be. And of course it would be a German minister that had a problem with Jews. Man, these are things you can look up, y'all. Now, while this president want to sit here and you want to reestablish the Mexican border, man, that thing is big. You're going to lose a lot of states if you're going to reestablish that border. Oh, man, then maybe it'll help them people over in California to get the government out of the way. Let these people do this thing, man. Let these people do this thing without the meddling of the U.S. government. See, but then again, while you're doing this thing, right, you give them some money and some stuff to go on and do about it. But again, some of them you didn't let in here. We ain't talking about all the ones who was, hello, somebody. We ain't talking about the ones that come over here illegally. See, everybody's over here now. Nobody want to lose anything, so we got to kick out. And again, we came over here illegally. The African came over here illegally. We're saying what it is now. We're saying what it is. No, but KJ slavery was legal. No. You intruded upon. See, y'all looking at things from the laws of man. This is why we missing it, y'all. You're not looking at the things made by the maker. And it's two totally different things. No, Cardinal Dalton and Reverend Frank Graham, man, y'all could have sat down. You praying and hallelujah over this mess, but ain't that what the church been doing with the government? All this Christians been doing that all this time. The idea is to help you cope through this and not be strong. This is the spirit in which Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., right? This is how these preachers was talking back then. He ain't the only preacher. Again, we started off talking about Nathaniel Turner. Nathaniel Turner was a preacher, y'all. And you look and you see what those people did to that man, standing up against slavery. Lynching was a thing, y'all. Folks left the church house to go watch black folks swing. Don't you teach that from the history class? Teach that in Sunday school. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna not unless people are humbled here and want to learn and grow. Then you'll start seeing that happen. But you got a lot of people out here that are okay, staying stuck in the babyfied state. We're not making fun of nobody. Everybody got different growths, whether from young or babyfied all the way up to adult. Nah, man, too much of this mess, man. Too much of this mess. Verse 6, the wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. Again, we're reading out of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 6. The wind goes south, then turns north, whirls around continually, and then returns again unto his circuits, its circuits. Her circuits. Again, we understand that folks got a problem with that man, woman. Everything is his. There's no women, man. Who's birthing you them babies? You? That's when the women pop up. You see, it's turned into possessions. This ain't about possession, man. This is about partnership. But see, Master's definition of business and partnership, when you hear these words come out their mouth, y'all, there's deception involved. There is a way now they have put upon, when they talk about the U.S. economy, different than the economy of this land before Europe came calling, man. What they deal in is lies and deceit. That's why they had to kill Gandhi. They had to kill Jesus. They had to kill Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., so on and so forth. This cannot, when you're trying to be greedy, ain't no room for helping other people. We'll make it look like we're trying to help you, but we ain't helping you out. We'll give you a little something to cross the line, to get across the finish line while they've been sitting there in the lawn chair wondering where you've been at. That's what's going on, man. The rivers, verse 7, the rivers run into the sea, and yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from where the rivers came, then again they return back to. Right? That's what thither they return again means. They all flow into each other, one dumps out into the next, and it's just a constant circle. The circle of life, y'all. Y'all watch out for homosexual people, because now they're going to do this thing with the transgender thing. Homosexuals is next. And again, we already read to you the Tennessee Bill of House Bill of 878. They after the interracial thing. There's nothing new under the sun, y'all. They want people subjugated and regulated. Again, while we're here, shout out to Spotify for podcasters, allowing a platform for your boy to say what must be said, what needs saying, to help people of all groups on their journey in a different view, right? The rivers run, the sea never overflows. You know, I know people can get it confused when there's flooding in certain way, and they're talking about that. You don't see the sea overflooding. You'd have massive land masses having an issue, okay? The sea is not overflowing. And then from that supposed overflow, then rivers just one is feeding into the next, right? All these things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. We don't know. See, again, this thing about you know it all. This man talking about going up in space. You ain't figured out the planet yet. You want to go up in space. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. There's always something new you can see. There's always something new you can hear, man. We have not heard and seen it all. Again, no eye has seen. Ain't that what your Bible says? Said no eye hath seen, and no ear hath heard that which God has in store for you. Now, ain't this again? This is another one in verses, right? Hold on. Yeah, I know. People think your boy tripping. Let's just, you know. Let me just go there. 1 Corinthians 2:9. But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither entered into the heart of man. Yes, whew. This is a powerful verse, by the way. I'm just saying. But man, this is the part we're not understanding a thing. We're not putting two and two together, man. The things which God hath prepared for them that love him. Right? Again, that love God. Okay. I know folks get mad when I do that, man. Again, God is not only him. God ain't pulling he's from. Never mind, man. Never mind. God is both. Okay. Again, male and female created God them. Never mind. You gonna keep not looking at there's certain two different types of genitalia, but some things look the same, right? Back on this boy-girl thing, we're just saying there's certain things here are similar. We understand, right? When you're talking the reproductive system and all that kind of thing. But again, to not allow people who just want to live their life a certain way, we just can't do that. It's just got to constantly be screwing with somebody. No, I just don't want them teaching me. No. So then teach your child the other way. That's all you got to do. It's the same thing with this interracial thing. You don't go talking it down. There's no reason to even talk about it. People choose to marry who they want. That's it. But in the eyes of certain people, they don't believe that, man. They don't believe none of that. And you about to see what it looks like, family. Right? You about to see what it looks like. Again, there's a way of doing things decently and in order. I must reiterate that. But we trying to control differences if there are none, man. We putting something in this planet there is nothing. You made it up. Got grapefruit, you got things that are made that are just two different things, just came out of nowhere, man. It's just It's there. It's there. You got all kinds of anomalies all over the place. Again, no eye has seen. Okay? The eye is not satisfied with seeing. Again, we're back Ecclesiastes 8:1 now. 1:8 now. The eye can never be satisfied with looking at stuff, nor the ear filled with hearing. Again, I'll take this a step further with pornography. People thinking that that thing is going sideways. Again, you not have to be looking at no high class, how do I say this? No high class entertainment groups, right? That ain't got nothing to do with it. People putting on a show that you see just by glancing through the window when you thought it was closed every day. Doing the same thing without the lighting on, y'all. Come on, man. Everybody comes in. Start studying sex before we come out the mouth talking about, oh, this shouldn't be that. Start studying. Again, can you get imbalances of anything from watching anything? Of course you can. That doesn't make that thing bad. It means it's being used in the improper light. Maybe we need to stop being so taboo about sex. Still have a healthy respect as it should be, but allow for different expressions of this thing, y'all. Just because you do it in these 3 positions on this day at that hour does not mean that's the only way, y'all. Why you raise your babies with that kind of thinking? I must reiterate, there is a holiness behind it. I understand this. But in which you do this separated apart action has different expressions, just like the difference between the Baptist and the Southern Baptist Church. But then again, y'all do fight like cats and dogs over which one is right. How interesting. Now I'm just using them 2 groups. We know Christians. Again, people know. You shouldn't even be shocked at the fact that there is less people. And we're going to end here. Because, again, we're just talking, y'all. You're just talking. Lord knows we cannot just talk to each other no more. People got to understand, man, this thing is a little bit different than what you think it is. That's all. It's just a little bit. Not much. We right on, man. Again, we don't need to be beating up the women. We don't need to be leaving homes with no daddies in them. We're not talking about that. Broken homes everywhere. People not being able to be married and have successful marriages, strong marriages, built on the cores and foundations between that man and woman or partner to partner. Okay. No, the Christian would rather down the other Christian brother and sister because they look at things this way. Instead of looking at some of the common ground where you can, this is where a lot of this silly beef is coming from, man. Not the only belief in the world that acts like that, but you're definitely at the top of the class with you. We definitely at the top of the class with that, family. Abrahamic faith, we get wild with that, man. Who's Orthodox? Who's non-Orthodox? I thought you was just Jewish. Now all of a sudden, what we doing is you the OGs or you not the old? Like, Lord, man, are we just looking for division? Verse 9: the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to stop today. Shout out and a happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, whose life was lost way too early, but was lived so effectually as a way pointer to others who want to find their freedom from tyranny and oppression under this good earth that has been made and given to us by the Maker, the fashioner, the great designer, God alone. Family, thank you for walking this road with me today. And as always, and until next time, Big Brother, Big Uncle KJ, right? Loves y'all. God bless y'all today, right? As always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.